Have you ever been around someone with a fragile ego? Someone who just finds it incredibly difficult to receive feedback. They're defensive and they're difficult to engage with. Have you ever been that person? Are you currently that person, and would you like to engage with the world in a different way? Last week we explored the fragile ego, and I encourage you to go back and watch that episode if you haven't already. This week we're going to be talking more about grounded confidence and how to develop that to strengthen that ego and become the person that you were designed to be. Sit back and let's learn how to do this together. So like we learned last week, if I have a fragile ego, then I have a shame shield that has me hearing direct communication, either online or in person, as snarky and judgmental or mean, because I'm judging myself. Because I think less of myself and I feel I have to be perfect in order to be okay, then I judge myself when I'm less than perfect, and I just assume that other people are doing the same. I need to be able to feel the feeling. I need to be able to feel whatever feeling rises up within me, whether it's anger or frustration or confusion. I need to be able to feel those things and communicate a need. I need to question myself. What nerve did that person's comment or their action, what nerve did it hit? They're communicating a need. I'm hearing it through my insecurity, and I'm getting my back up in defensiveness. If instead I have grounded confidence, which is what we're talking about today, then it will have me accepting myself even as I work on myself. So grounded confidence has me hearing what somebody else says, and even when it hurts, I own my part. Even if I have to say, just give me a second, that's hitting me in a very difficult fashion. I'm maybe even feeling flooded or overwhelmed by my emotions right now. Just give me a second to process this. And I go and I calm myself down, and I come back and I re-engage with this grounded confidence where, okay, so that might be hard to hear, but I can do it. Sometimes to find the things that I need to work on requires that outside source, that outside witness to help me identify what's going on so that I can work on it. When I have this grounded confidence where I'm less likely to feel defensive when something happens, so maybe I make a mistake and I'm okay with the fact that I made a mistake, or maybe I do my hair in a silly way and somebody laughs at it, and I'm okay with the fact that they're laughing at it because I don't take myself so seriously. Grounded confidence has me knowing who I am, where I come from, what things I've had to overcome in my life to become the person that I am, my strengths, some of my growth areas that I'm working on. We've spoken before about Kristin Neff's idea of self-compassion, that idea that when I make a mistake, like everybody else does, because as I believe in my faith, there's nobody perfect in the world, right? We all make mistakes. So we have self-compassion in the common humanity that we make mistakes and we're able to go, whew, yeah, I messed that up because I'm learning just like everybody else. So there's more acceptance and less judgment, less pain, and I don't have to defend myself or protect myself from other people seeing the mistake because I accept that it's okay for me to make a mistake. It's okay for you to make a mistake because we are human beings who make mistakes. I have grounded confidence then. I know that just like everybody else, I'm allowed to make a mistake. I'm learning and I'm growing. If I'm sitting in shame, however, through my fragile ego viewing the world and my experience and my fragile self-esteem, I will lash back out. So how do I work on it? If I'm somebody who has all of these nerves from past wounds and experience and not feeling good enough, and remember those automatic negative thoughts that we spoke about early on in my episodes, and if you'd like to view that, go back and do that. Look through the videos and find the ones on automatic negative thoughts. But you know, if I make a mistake and I think, oh, I'm so bad at this, I suck at life, I give the example often, and I still give it to my clients, where I used to just drop a pen and go, oh, you're such an idiot. Am I though? Right? You might think I'm an idiot, but it has nothing to do with dropping the pen, and I don't think I'm an idiot. When I drop a pen, I now say, whoops, because people drop pens. People make mistakes, but we need to be able to pay attention to those automatic negative thoughts, those ants that come up in those moments. They will be indicators for us to pay attention to where we have areas of fragile ego. Clearly, I had received the message that I had to be perfect or I wasn't acceptable, and so dropping a pen meant that I was an idiot. I have some clients who, when they're sick and they're resting because they're sick, say, oh, you're lazy, if they go beyond a day or two of resting. I have friends and family members who feel the same way. But what if instead we recognize the common humanity that sometimes I'm sick and sometimes they need to recover from illness, and that takes time? How long should it take? A day, 2 days? How about however long it takes? However long it takes for you to truly recover so that you can be better and engage in the world, because it's going to be different for you than it is for me, than it is for somebody who's recovering from long COVID, or somebody who has another, say, a nerve disease or multiple sclerosis, or perhaps an autoimmune disease outside of those things, or a mental health difficulty that rears its ugly head in the winter months. I've been very transparent with you before that I struggle with seasonal affective disorder, and so I need to be aware that this is going to be, going into this season, a difficult one, and I'm going to look after myself, but I'm not going to beat myself up when I start to sink. I'm going to recognize it, and I'm going to do the things I need to do to care for me, just like you should. We develop that sense of self-acceptance. This is who I am as an individual. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It just means that's who I am. And understanding who you are, if you happen to be, again, you know, we've talked about the highly sensitive person trait. And in North America, where it's more of a warrior mentality, somebody who has that trait of being highly sensitive, of noticing things around them, of feeling things intensely, of needing to withdraw to recharge, is sometimes viewed as weak. But what if you just viewed it as the way you were? What if you looked at that and you said, I have been uniquely designed to notice when somebody is uncomfortable and to be able to help meet that need, but because I am this way, self-acceptance, it comes with different needs for care. Just like if I had, say, a Great Dane, it would require different care than if I had a Chihuahua, right? A Great Dane has different types of health issues. Because it's a Great Dane, does that mean there's something inherently wrong with it? No, it's different than that little Chihuahua that other people have. They're just different. They require a different kind of care. If you had a Great Dane, it would require different care than a horse, even though they're both very large. If you have a fish at home, it requires different care than a cat. But that doesn't mean that one is better than the other, or that one is worth more or less than the other. They're different. You and I are different. We may be very similar in different ways, but if I grow to love and accept myself, and I'm confident, I know who I am, what my strengths are, I'm able to look at my automatic negative thoughts and challenge them. I'm not an idiot. This is just a pen and I dropped it. Whoops. If I'm able to look at my cognitive distortions that we also have explored before, and I notice that I'm seeing the world through a lens that is maybe distorted because of my past experience, I can explore that for truth, and I can see where maybe I'm seeing things in a distorted manner to protect myself, or to protect others, and I need to look at it more realistically. And the more I develop an understanding of the way I think and the way I am in the world and love myself, I become more confident. I can make that mistake. I can recognize that as the person that I am, with the thoughts that go through my head on a regular basis, and when I am excited about something, I get passionate and I start to speak quickly. I might even walk into a room talking. I don't beat myself up for that. I go, dang it. That's one of my enduring traits. That's who I am as a person. It's okay. It might be irritating to people. Sometimes it's irritating to me, but I also accept it even when it's irritating, right? Because it's who I am. It's not something to judge. And the less I judge myself, the less defensive I become when somebody brings something to my attention that maybe needs to be addressed. I feel more confident. I don't feel so attacked. One of the tools, and I kind of glossed over it earlier with this sense of grounded confidence as I'm working through things, either on my own, journaling, reading books, watching videos like this, or working with a mental health counselor, I need to recognize that sometimes when I'm working on things, they are hard to hear. And I might want to rise up and be defensive. But if I'm sitting in grounded confidence and I want to grow and develop, I need to be able to take a breath and say, wait a second, that was actually really hard for me to hear, but I want to hear everything you have to say. I want to know, what I need to work on. So just give me a few minutes. I'm going to go get a glass of water. I'm going to come back and let's talk about that some more. So rather than being defensive, I can then sit and understand and seek to understand and ask more questions. And then maybe even say, okay, I see what you're saying. Let me clarify because I'm not sure that you understood everything that was intended. And then I'm able to express what the situation really was to the other person, and they're able to hear it. And we develop a greater understanding and a greater respect for one another because I was able to not be defensive, protecting my fragile ego, but instead in grounded confidence was able to hear what they had to say and then address the situation. Sometimes I need to hear what somebody has to say and own the situation and go, ooh, yeah, you know what? I did do that. I did actually. That was really selfish behavior of mine. And I can see how that hurt you. And I am so sorry. And it allows us to repair the relationship instead of sitting in defensiveness. I'm perfect and you're all the problem and you need to fix everything about you because I didn't do anything wrong. You did something wrong. When I'm defensive, when I'm not in that grounded confidence, I hear the first bit of criticism and I'm no longer listening to understand, but I'm listening to attack back. If you find yourself doing that, that's a great indication that you maybe need to do more work here. We don't want to sit in shame. We want to recognize, I know that I'm not perfect just like everybody else, but just like everybody else, I am valuable. My faith says that I am valuable because I am a child of the Most High. And so in that, I'm valuable, and He made me just the way I am for just a time as this. He did the same for you. And I'm so glad that you're here to learn about grounded confidence today and how to grow and become more of the person that you are supposed to be. I'm going to be the most Julie I can be, and you be the most you that you can be. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube episode today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Like, subscribe, and share. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. That's the fastest way for other people to see this, because the more people who like and subscribe, the more it's shown to other people who are viewing videos that are kind of like this. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for joining me here at Orange Therapy on YouTube, where I hope you really believe at this point, because you are welcome exactly as you are.